Hey guys, it's me, John Avenger, once again. Welcome to another live commentary. This is not a comedy this time. This is a 2006 underrated action thriller starring Michael Douglas, who's always good in nearly everything he's in, Kiefer Sutherland, and Eva Longoria, The Sentinel from 2006. Yeah, I haven't seen this movie in a while. It's about an hour and 48 minutes old. Let's get started as soon as possible. And also, yes, I would like to give a shout out, a rest in peace shout out to poor Terry Funk, who died at 79 years old a couple of days ago, and Bray Wyatt. Give a moment of silence. Okay, yeah. Rest in peace, guys. You'll be missed dearly. I know you were great wrestlers. But let's get to a more fun time, when wrestlers were not dying left and right. 2006, the year I turned 21. This is a 20th Century Fox movie, so why isn't this on Disney Plus? I don't know. I missed that logo. When Fox was bought out by Disney, it was never the same because Star Wars suffered because of that. And I'm going to say this is a decent movie. So if you could stream this movie, I would recommend it. It did not deserve to flop at the box office. It's a way better action thriller than half of the action thrillers this year. It wasn't boring like Hypnotic. You saw the stock footage of Ronald Reagan. Rest in peace as well, sir. A good president compared to what we got now. And Reagan didn't get murdered. He died of old age. Because JFK died, of murder. I enjoy this movie. No, I'm not going to end the stream. I just started 2 minutes ago. I didn't see this in theaters back in 2006, but I did get it on DVD a long time ago. I think I got it at Best Buy. I think I got it at Best Buy when, they had the $5 bin. I'm just happy that I can go back and watch old stuff, before the dark times, before the Empire. Sunday, I'm not doing a podcast because I'm going to go to National Cinema Day. Tickets are $4. I wish tickets were $4 year round. Kim Basinger's in the movie too, not in a major role, but she's in it. Washington, D.C. Well, that was a good applesauce. Yeah, movies need to cost less now because this movie does not cost $200 million. This movie's not 2.5 hours like Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1. It doesn't need to be that long. When a movie is an hour and 48 minutes, that is as long as it needs to be. If it's an action movie, an hour and 40 minutes to 2 hours, that is all you need. Past that, the movie starts to drag, and I'm like, just end this, please. End it. Michael Douglas produced this movie. Yeah, this is before he was an Ant-Man. Still a legend, man. Based on a novel by Gerald Petrovich or something like that. America. That Kim. Hey, cinema fan, good to see you. You're always the first one to come. This movie still holds up? Yeah, it does, especially in the political climate today. Yeah, it definitely holds up. It looks good. It's not badly edited. It's not 3 hours long. Oppenheimer, wink, wink. You only made money because you were lumped in with Barbie. If not, you would have been the biggest flops of the year. And also because Nolan directed it. If it was any other director, it would have flopped, like Michael Bay or something like that. Mm. Oh yeah, was Abe Lincoln. I'm doing podcasts back to back because I want to make up for the lost time. I didn't do a podcast for like 9 days. Tomorrow I won't do one because I got to do the laundry. These shots are really good. Who directed this movie? Clark Johnson. Never heard of him. It looks like an Oliver Stone movie, but a lot shorter. Puppy. There's a German Shepherd. I hope that live action movies next year will have to keep the camera steady. Yeah, it's another thing I'm tired of in movies. They don't. They have to edit like every 2 seconds. There she is, Eva. Hmm. Yep, they do a nice close up of her beautiful ass. I'm like, of course, she's hot at AF. Let me say that. There's Kiefer Sutherland doing on. She mostly does a lot of shows more than movies, but she was fine in Dora, that Dora movie from 2019. She said no to Blue Beetle. She knew it was going to be a failure. Appropriate clothing. Yeah, I'm eating an apple. It'll keep the doctor away. Had applesauce and apple, so that's 2 servings of fruit already. I want to live, guys. I want to lose these fat cheeks. This film has special features, so even when a movie flops, sometimes it gets a commentary, but I wanted to do my own commentary. Excuse me. Yep, there's the president. This was 2006, so this is before Obama was president. That's not a job I would want to have to lead this country for 4 years. Yeah, I couldn't do that for a month, much less 4 years. But at least next year's the next presidential election, I'm gonna be a registered voter, so I could vote for someone that's gonna lead this country to make it great again. That's not named Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Peace. There's no peace. There is no peace in this world. If there was peace, there wouldn't be people fighting. There wouldn't be these wildfires. These wildfires are not. These wildfires are not a coincidence. People are setting the fire to the wall to the grass. Without compromise, there will never be peace. There's no peace with these people either. The SAG writer strike. Where's the peace in that? Give them the piece of the pie, and they'll go away. That would have been my. If I was if I was a billionaire, I would have given each of them $1 million just to go away. Every single one of them, not the actors, the writers, because they're the ones that struck in the first place, not the actors. Yep, right in the thing. And this is a very strong. Oh, well, actually, no, this is not R. It's PG-13, but it's a strong PG-13. I thought it was R. It looks like an R-rated movie, but it feels like one, like Air Force One or something like that. But no, it's not a kids movie though. They shot him with a silencer. This is like an episode of 24. That it was PG-13, TV-14. There's a rating system for a reason, parents. Don't take your children to a PG-13 movie. That's going to scar them. Yeah, like The Batman. Oh my God, that was not a PG-13 movie for kids. Oh God, no, it's not. It's so violent and so dark and realistic that yeah, it makes Nolan's movies look like a kids movie. I agree, John. Ever since COVID, there's no peace in the world. No, because people got to fight each other for petty things. I used to fight with my brother over the TV, but when he moved out, that's not a problem anymore. I have a cable. I mean, I have a DVD player, a Blu-ray player, and I have a laptop. Why do I need to fight with him? I don't. You can stream everything now most of the time. Yes, there is. See again. Sometimes it's good to have a woman in a movie look like a woman and not try to hide their feminine charms. I'm sorry, but that's where you fail, Kathleen Kennedy. In Ahsoka, I wanted to see women be women, and now you don't have to like force them to be girl bosses. That's not what we wanted. Sorry, but again, I'm going to review that in October when the show's over because it can't be a second season. Ray Stevenson died, so he won't be coming back. hmm Danger. When you're in the political field, you're always in danger. With a silencer. Movies need to be less political now and more entertaining. Again, that movie did not flop, guys. It's one of the biggest movies of the decade for a reason. I keep pointing at it because I'm like, you cannot make this up. Sometimes you need to do the simple approach is the best approach. Even if movies have made a billion after Mario, it still wouldn't have made a difference because bad movies don't need $1 billion at the box office. If they're not good, take them out of the theaters. Don't even try it. Let me see who Clark Johnson is. Hold on. Clark Johnson. He's an American actor? So he's not a director, is he? He's an actor and a Canadian, American and Canadian actor. Yeah, he's both an actor and a director, like Jordan Peele. He's done some TV shows. Yeah, he did the SWAT movie from 2003. He's mostly an actor. What? Yeah, he's mostly done television. He did Love and Death this year with Elizabeth Olsen, Alaska Daily, Accused, Mayor of Kingston. Yeah, he mostly does television shows. He does an occasional film. He did this movie called Juanita. He did a Taken TV series. Yeah, he mostly does TV shows now. He acts in things too, but yeah, but because even when COVID happened, like people are like trying to stay away from each other, like, oh, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. And I'm like, again, I didn't have COVID in 2020. I got it last year. Yep, he wants it. Look at those feet. Yeah, that's the thing. That why can't we just get along with each other? She's still desirable to this day, Kim Basinger. I saw her when I was 5 years old. When Batman '89 came out, I saw her in that as a young boy, and I was like, I like this. I like this beautiful blonde hair and the the female body. What can I say? I will never apologize for being heterosexual. I don't say straight anymore. That word's not strong enough. Heterosexual. So people know exactly what I want to be with. There ain't no H in the LGBTQ There isn't one. No. They're still holding each other. Wow. Funny how Basinger hasn't done a DC movie in a long time yet. Douglas was just in Quantumania a few months ago. Yikes. And the acting is still good in this movie. It's not hammy or underwhelming. No, they're acting human. They show emotions. They're not freaking robots. Winkety wink wink. Yeah, because nowadays every actor has to be stoic and just boring. And I'm like, you can't make women boring. That's not something that I want to see in anything in Star Wars, Marvel, DC, whatever. Even in the Fast and the Furious movies, the women don't do much. They're just kind of in the background. Sorry, give them something to do that makes sense. I am a film legend. Hell yeah. Man, this acting is so good, man. And Kiefer Sutherland is Canadian. I didn't know until I saw a few years ago. The actors in this movie sound like they want to be in this, yeah, and they're not monotone. They're not. Oh my God, Charlie was my best friend. No, they emote with their face. In Secret Invasion, they said just have half of the actors be on autopilot or overact, like that British guy that played Gravik. No, I'm tired of it. The Marvels, I'm saying this right now. Dune got pushed. Okay, I can wait till next year. But when the Marvels, do not push it. Give me my three girls fighting, and I will be fine. That is all I'm going to pay to see. I don't care about the woman villain, the girl boss villain. You're going to throw in my face. That's so generic that she's going to make the evolutionary look good. I thought that was Samantha Mathis. It's not her. She was doing Punisher, the 2004 Punisher. Looks just like her. Stock footage. We're almost 25 minutes in. Also, this movie's fast paced for a thriller. It doesn't take an hour for something to happen. So, Publisher Clearinghouse. I remember those commercials. Yeah, that's the this Southern guy was in. He was in Gone Fishing. He was a hillbilly, basically like a redneck. No offense to anybody that's white out there. He's like a Southern Jackie or Haley. That's what he looks like. Yeah. And sad. Of course he is. This movie cost like only an eighth of the budget of The Flash, and yet while this failed, it still got a better following, and it deserves more attention. And it does again. It's not 2 hours long, over 2 hours long. Secrets. If this was made today, this movie would have had too much padding. Yeah, too much padding. You don't need 20 minutes of padding in any movie or 30 minutes of padding like Mission Impossible. You don't need it. It makes the movies too long. Mario was like the Spitfire. The dialogue was really quick. It didn't take 5 minutes for each conversation. They know kids don't have the attention span to sit through something to over 2 hours. Not anymore. Arabs. Again, this was after 9/11, so back then it was Al Qaeda, the Taliban, and all that, and now ISIS. But that's what people are afraid of now. Even though they had nothing to do with COVID, that was some of the Chinese, some, not all. So if you're not a political person, don't watch this video because this is a very political film, and yeah. We're about 30 minutes in. Yep. Good night, Irene. A scandalous picture of him and Kim Basinger, kissing. There are cameras everywhere in Washington, right? DC. Yikes. Yeah, I've never been in a lie detector before. It's a nice, calm movie after some of the crazy things I saw this summer in the theater and at home. Is it raining right now? Let me check. It's 73 right now. Yeah, it's starting. It's light rain right now. A scattered thunderstorm is later. Hell no. This scene I think could have been shorter. Just there's a lot of yes and no answers. Hmm. Yeah, I agree that this scene could have been cut for pacing. Yeah, it's a lot of characters that are not going to be in the rest of the film. Even the camera work here is, like when they slow it down, it's not slow mo like a Zack Snyder movie. It works. Yeah, not everybody's on a cell because this was 2006. So the gap is across the street. I just stretch my legs. Can we try to do that without kicking the computer? Here we go. Like this. Just for a little bit. You guys can still see me. A coffee shop. Radio Shack. That doesn't exist anymore. I miss it. If it won't be the same without Radio Shack. Yeah, it hasn't been the same. When it closed in 2014, I was sad because I used to buy things there for my camera. I used to buy batteries there. I bought I bought some DVDs there, mini discs for my camera and Radio Shack. Yeah, it's not the same now. The score is good. Oh, somebody's trying to run him over. Oops, I almost bumped into her. None. The score in this movie doesn't sound at all the place as a soundtrack of the first Suicide Squad. Yeah, they tried to be like Guardians of the Galaxy and it failed because it's not a colorful group of characters. They're violent and they're villains and criminals. They're not likable characters. Sorry. Uncharted, yeah. That didn't come out until last year, so it still did better than a lot of movies this year. 40 minutes, 41 minutes. Helicopter. Hmm. Drive fast. At least summer's over in a couple of weeks, so I'll be happy when I could do podcasts in the fall because superhero. I don't know what my theme is going to be for September, but I'll figure it out. So far, August has been a very long month. Yes, too long. Ever since I got back from Hershey Park, it's like 3 weeks felt like 3 months because the pacing since there's no holidays in August, my sister had to work so much. Subway plug in, Pepsi. There's a lot of product placement in this movie, but it's in the background. Oh, he's packing. This reminds me of this. This reminds me of the scene in Dead Reckoning Part One. You know where we have to meet Haley. Except this scene is a lot shorter, and there's no Haley in this movie. You're dead. Gotta check my Gmail. Hold on. Yep, that's shooting. At least there's some action here. Yep, spinning the coin. Yeah, I know Sunday is National Cinema Day. I'm going to the theater on National Cinema Day. Hmm. It's tense. Spirit, I remember those in the mall. There's a lot of chasing in this scene. We're about a third of the way through the running time. We're 48 minutes in, and the movie's about an hour and 48 minutes. So we got about another hour left, and then the movie's over. But it's not an hour and 48 minutes. With the end credits, it's like 142. I believe. Oop, it blew up the presidential helicopter. Wow. Art world was completely totaled. Hmm. This is the climate we live in nowadays, where people are afraid to go outside. 51 minutes. That's why I refuse to do any 2.5 hour movies because I need a break. Because September is pretty short, so I don't need to put anything that long. Hmm. There's one British guy in this movie, but he's not in the film that much. Unlike Haley in Dead Reckoning Part One, they don't spend a lot of time with the villain. Like one of the villains. Take this hat off for now. It's fine. The movie's almost over. I wore it for like half the movie. The cartel, really. Never. I would never do that. I would never kill a political figure because I'm not. I don't want blood on my hands. The only things that I kill are bugs. Did anybody in the theater tell you to shut up when you said a binto? No, because they knew that I wasn't there to see her. When I called her the B word, people looked at me, but that was it because the theater was not that packed. But with the second movie, I said I'm going all out. If Dead Reckoning Part Two comes out and it's 3 hours, I'm getting a milkshake so that it'll go down easy and I don't have to deal with this worthless binto again. After that, I don't want to see her again. I said it to my friend Josh. I don't want to see Atwell act anymore. This acting is really good, man. How much does this movie cost? This movie's on Max, so you can watch it. This film was filmed in Washington, D.C., Canadian cities of Toronto and Kleinburg, Ontario. This film costs $60 million. 60. That I wish movies cost that now. It made 78 million. So while not a massive bomb, it didn't lose a lot of money. It didn't make the money that a movie like a Jason Bourne movie did. Because Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, and Ultimatum made way more than this. This movie barely broke even. It should have done a lot better than that than what it did. There's movies that cost like $100 million that didn't even make 60 million in the U.S. Look at Blue Beetle. Yeah, that's another movie I skipped because I don't want to see it. A 2 hour and 7 minute Meji Lives Matter is not for me, guys. Sorry, you're not Black Panther. Black Panther in its opening weekend made more than Blue Beetle and The Flash combined in its opening weekend. That's saying a lot because again, that was before the pandemic. Yep, there we go. Because the Bourne films were PG-13, but they were pretty strong, except for the last one. That last one was so boring. It was Jason Bourne. How old is Eva now? She's 48 years old now. Wow, she still looks amazing. That means when she did the movie, she was in her 30s. But this was after Desperate Housewives came out. This was in 2006. That show came out in 2004. And the first thing I saw Kiefer Sutherland in was not 24. It was I heard his voice in the Nutcracker Prince when I was like 8 years old, and then I saw him in Lost Boys and a bunch of other stuff. The first Lost Boys. The reasons why movies nowadays are too expensive because studios thought that having a big budget will mean a better movie. No, it doesn't mean that because when the CGI looks bad or it's distracting and it doesn't need to be there, it just looks awful. It looks like a video game cutscene. And I'm like, the only movies that should look like a video game cutscene are Mario and maybe Gran Turismo. That's about it. Everything else does not need to look like a cutscene. Because I could play a video game on my Switch. I don't need to watch that in the theater. It's ridiculous. We're almost an hour in, but it didn't feel the running time. There's a few scenes that could have been trimmed just to make it like an hour and 40 minutes without the 8 minutes of padding. It was in the middle, not in the beginning. Douchette. That sounds like douche, but I got to take a shower later, so I'm going to do it early before that thunderstorm hits. There's going to thunderstorm later at like 6 p.m. How much battery power do I have? I have enough to finish this. Got 49%. She's still so beautiful, man. Yeah. Because nowadays, a thriller like this will be 3 hours long or 2.5 hours. No, don't bore me to death. Do it in under 2 hours and I'll be fine. Because running time is very important. Some people don't care how long a movie is, but if you bore me or lose me, I'm not going to be interested. Remember, Eternals did that to me 2 years ago. Hopefully, the Marvels will be shorter than that atrocity. Because that movie is the worst Marvel film I've ever seen on the big screen. At home, no. But in the big screen, yes. Without any question. I don't want an Eternals 2. I never want to see the Eternals again in any capacity. I'd rather see the Inhumans and the X-Men than to see with the Eternals again. They're the most boring superhero thing, because I'm not going to call them a team, ever assembled. That's why I'm not worried about the Marvels, because there's no way it's going to be 2.5 hours. It's 3 girls against some Final Fantasy boss. That's it. That doesn't need to be 2.5 hours. Too many movies nowadays think that they could be 2 hours and change, and they're going to be like, oh, people will sit through that. Yeah, if it's a Broadway show or if it has an intermission, but there's no intermissions in the theater. We need that. It's not going to make movies flop. Does you know why it's going to make movies better? Because then if the movie's 3 hours, you can get up and walk. We don't have to sit there on the seat and hurting our pelvis for 3 hours or our backbones. Yeah. Joker didn't cost $200 million, and that looks great. I miss when films look like films and not a cutscene from a video game or a demo reel for like a 4K TV or something like that, where everything is in your face. I've seen the 4K TVs, yeah. Doom Part 2 got pushed. Boo hoo. I didn't want the Marvels to flop because they had to compete with Doom. We don't need another summer blockbuster season this year because we don't need September. There are no blockbusters. Everything's going to be on streaming or on DVD or whatever. And the one movies that are coming out, I don't care. Like The Nun Part 2, no. You saw male and female bathrooms. Remember those? Yeah. Now things are different. I don't care what bathroom I go to. If I have to go, I go. And this movie didn't get a sequel, which is fine. It's a good standalone movie. That's another thing. Stop making movies have sequel bait endings that are not going to live up to the first one. Because, like I said, you're always trying to do a sequel bait ending to setting up the next four films instead of just being self contained. That's another thing. You don't have to, not every movie is going to be a Mario where you're going to tease the next character, Yoshi, or, they're going to have the next villain or the next. No, if just be self contained when you can. The Marvel stinger should only be for the Marvel movies because DC, they ain't going to have any more sequels for a while because all of their sequels flopped this year or their standalone movies like Blue Beetle. That's why Aquaman 2, they should just put it on streaming. I don't even want to see it in the theater because it's not going to make money. No DC movies made money this year. Not one. Marvel at least had two of them this summer. Two of them. Animated and live action. But there were only six movies that made money this year, and that's sad. Anything else that made money was like a low budget movie that Blumhouse did or something like that. Why is this skipping? Don't skip on me, movie. I probably have to clean this DVD player. I haven't cleaned it in a while. I can shut this air off. Hold on. Shut it off because it's already cold in here anyway. And I'm gonna go take a shower soon. I gotta clean this thing. I haven't cleaned it in a while. Before I do my next podcast, probably on Monday. It's not gonna be tomorrow because I need a break. I've done two already, and because I saw I did yesterday I did Bigger Fatter Liar worked. Maybe the reason why studios wanted to make sequels to movies that don't need it in the first place is because for the money. Exactly. An edge of your seat thriller. Yeah, it's not. This isn't a Die Hard or something like that, but it's still better than some of the thrillers we get today. Because Hypnotic was a thriller, and I was so bored. I wanted the movie to end like immediately. I thought the movie was so dull, and I'm like, yeah, it was over. It was not even overly long. It was just badly written, and Ben Affleck looked like he needed a nap. hmm The things you can do with technology, guys. I say Secret Service. Don't worry, I'm still there, guys. I'm just checking my order is still in process. Okay, got it. Yeah, my Mickey pin is coming in the mail probably next week. I'm not going to show it until September because I'm going to do a little haul of stuff that I got on vacation and anything that I get in the mail the next couple of months. When 6 movies out of like 60 movies did well this year, that's sad. That's a low ratio. Yeah, you have to do better. We don't need a summer blockbuster in the winter or spring. We just need one, not 14. Just saying, 14 is not enough. That's too much. That's that you're not going to make your money back if you put a summer blockbuster every week. That's why I'm glad when the Meg 2 came out, it did well. It did surprisingly well, especially overseas. It broke even, which is all I needed. I didn't need the movie to make a billion. It did better than The Flash in 2 weeks than The Flash did in a whole run. Because again, people want to see something different. The first Meg was like 5 years ago. It wasn't like we get a Meg movie every year. We get a Marvel or DC movie every year now, whether it's a DC independent movie or a DCU movie, and we get a Marvel movie every year. But we could wait. We waited 2 years during the pandemic. After Endgame and Far From Home, we didn't get a Marvel movie again in the theater till Black Widow. So, not counting New Mutants because that was supposed to come out before Black Widow. Honestly, like years before. This score is really good. Who did the score? Evian Clean. Never heard of him. They have real cars, real guns, real explosions. There's none of this CGI trickery like in movies now where everything looks like a CGI cartoon. That's why Fast X didn't make money. It costs too much. How do you make a Fast and the Furious movie go from like 50 million to 300 million? Where did the money go? Where? Tell me, where did the money go? I didn't see a $300 million budget in the trailer. I saw a round metal ball and helicopters exploding. You could do that with $100 million or less. You don't need 300 million. That's mental. It is. It's mental. Let me take these socks off because they're so tight. I'm gonna take a shower anyway, so. This movie does not cost $200 million. You don't need it. You don't need it. If it's Star Wars or something, I can understand that. But even then, you have to think before you throw millions of dollars on a screen and it doesn't look good. Oh, that's annoying. Let me lower that. That cutting sound, it hurts my ears. Okay, good. It's like that's a really good shot. And he fought cancer. Michael Douglas. Oh, we got him. Back in 2006, when people care about making a good movie. Yeah. Superman Returns. It's sad when that movie looks better than half of the DC movies that came out this year or last year because it doesn't look like a video game. Brian Singer, he did put effort into that movie despite it not making the money that a superhero movie would make now. But at least the movie tried. It wasn't somber like freaking Man of Steel. It had color. It had that wonderful score from John Williams, which to me, without that scores, it's not a Superman movie. It doesn't feel epic, you know? Let me lie down a little bit because it's almost over. We got about 30 minutes left. It is a long movie, but it's not too long. If this was John Wick 4, this would just be the first hour of almost 3 hours. And I'm like, it doesn't need to be that long. The first John Wick was an hour and 40 minutes, not 3 hours. I'll see John Wick 4 in September. I don't have to watch it now because September is a short month before Comic-Con. Wink, wink, because Kiefer Sutherland's Canadian. His father's also Canadian, Donald Sutherland. There's the full moon. I'm looking more forward to Monster High 2. Why? It doesn't cost $200 million. It's a Nickelodeon movie on Paramount Plus. That's got an awesome song that My Heart Goes Boom Boom Boom, which is gonna trend. I'm telling you, that's gonna trend more than any Disney Channel song this year, or Disney Channel song in any Disney Channel movie in the past 5 years. Hey Josh, are we hating DC and Marvel because they had rough because of the strikes? We're not hating on that. It's just we don't need the movies to be 2.5 hours, Josh. I was wearing a Guardians hat the almost half the podcast. It's just movies need to look like this and less like a video game cutscene. With Fast X, I know you didn't hate it, but it could have been better if it was shorter and didn't have $300 million thrown in the screen. You can make movies look good. As much as movies like New Mutants flopped and Black Widow didn't do as well as it could have, they didn't. Not the whole movie looked like a video game cutscene. Just saying. Cinema fan and I are agreeing that movies need to be shorter and they don't need $300 million. I don't want it to look like an Asana movie, but I don't want it to look like a cutscene from a video game that I can't play. Spider-Verse was lucky that it has less than a $300 million budget, and also it's for kids. That's why they went to go see it, even though it did not make $1 billion like Mario or Barbie or the last Spider-Man movie live action that came out. Sometimes you need to do less. Less is more. You don't need to more doesn't equal more. A Zelda movie doesn't need to cost $300 million because you just keep your budgets at a minimum. Stop delaying movies for 4 years and do it right away. Gotcha. It's pretty intense. And this is a PG-13. I thought it was R. Not every superhero movie needs to look cheap. Well, it can't look like a cutscene from a video game either. If every movie looks like the end of The Flash, we're in trouble. If Joker looks like The Flash, we're in trouble. Joker 2. And it does not to be shorter, but long enough to do what it sets out to do. Yeah, but if you need 3 hours to tell your story, it better be an Endgame and not an Oppenheimer. Just saying, we all know that movie was too long. Everybody said that. People that enjoyed the film said the movie's too long. Yeah, Nolan, you don't need movies to be 3 hours. You're not Peter Jackson. You're not James Cameron. You're not even Martin Scorsese. You're not. You're not. You're just a 50-something-year-old British guy that's so far up his own anus that he's like, anything I do is a masterpiece. Oh, no. Tenet was confusing. Yeah. Your last great movie was Interstellar. Yeah. I don't need a Supergirl or a Zelda movie to look like the Asana. Well, it's not going to, Josh. I'm just saying, this movie costs $60. It looks great. It does not look like a cutscene. It doesn't. It looks like an actual film. Real locations, real bullets, real people, not CGI the movie like freaking Avatar. When everything looks like Avatar, it looks fake to me. Mario was animated. It needed to look colorful and cutesy and unrealistic because it's a cartoon. But with Avatar, it looks fake. There's like 10% humans and 90% CGI. It takes me out. Get it? Me takes me out. Yeah. Put it in small words. It takes me out. Captain Marvel, the first Captain Marvel movie had CG, but it didn't look like a CGI cartoon. It doesn't get like that till the end. And even then, it's short. It's not 3 hours long. And the Marvels, I'm looking forward to it. The girl switching powers, that alone intrigues me. It's like Fantastic Four, The Rise of Silver Surfer, but better written and longer. But the villain's going to suck, and you know it. That Final Fantasy villain, whatever the hell her name is, I don't care about her. She's a Brit. She's going to suck. Period. Red Riding Hood, if you make that your lead girl look bad, well, that's not going to happen. The Marvels looks great. CGI and such, yeah. I said Red Riding Hood 2058. Again, $60 million. I see the money on the screen. They got great talent, good writing, a pacing that's mostly, on it's easy to follow because most of these thrillers now cost so much and they're so long and so slow. That's another thing I'm tired of, movies being a slow burn. Dune was slow, but we got through it. And part 2 is coming out next year, so I got months to think about where am I gonna see it. Because I want to see Godzilla X Kong first. Yeah. Ta 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 ta. An hour 21 minutes. What? Wait. What? I can't read that. Godzilla Kong is in April now. Oh, so it's going to come out a month later. That's fine. So Dune it is. So they pushed it to April. Yeah, you don't need four blockbusters in the same month. January and February. I checked the movies coming out next year. There's nothing. There's like maybe a horror movie or some stupid comedy on Netflix. That's about it. That's all you need. You don't need 300 movies in one blockbusters in 1 year. It's not 2019 anymore. It's 2023, and soon it'll be 2024, a leap year. The first one since that year that will not be mentioned here again, because you know what it is. Knock knock. It's almost 12 o'clock. Tennessee, that's where Josh is from. They can't push the Marvels to January. It won't do well. There's never been an MCU movie in January. February, yeah. Black Panther, Quantumania, uh, and Captain Marvel was in March. Cold weather doesn't keep people away from the theater unless it's something they don't want to see. I mean, look at Avatar. Look what that did last year. Because look at all the CGI that looks fake. Yeah, again, that's what people want, but that's not what I want. I want something that looks real, not some blue Smurfs with freaking cat tails and stripes and long braids. I'm like, yeah, it just looks. The Smurfs look more realistic than Avatar. It's funny how Brendan, Web Movie One said, "Oh, did you see Fern Gully 3, Attack of the Smurfs? Avatar." Again, don't blame me, the pandemic, for delaying so much of these strikes. Yeah, Joker 2 is going to be fine. Don't put things in your mind that are not there. It's not going to be blonde. You're not going to have 3 hours of him beating the hell out of Harley. Harley's in the movie so she can sing because it's played by a singer first. No more Margot Robbie as Harley. That's done. That was done the moment she signed on to do Barbie to save her career because everything else was failing. Yeah, she had to play a doll in order to get money again. Oh well, that's her new path. That's Harley. She was annoying. Sorry. Gaga's going to be way better because she got an Oscar nomination, I believe, for "Song Was Born." Yeah, A Star Is Born. We're almost done. We're an hour and 24 minutes in. It's a lot longer than the other movie I saw yesterday. That's a great shot. Fingerprints. Hmm. I want Caitlin to do something because she hasn't done a film this year. With all the strikes going on and with more blockbusters coming out like every 2 minutes, she didn't even get a movie since Tickets to Paradise. And I'm like, yeah, again, a lower budgeted movie. That didn't cost $200 million. Fingerprints. I've heard that before. Hmm. Just get me in and get me out. I don't want. I don't need to be in a movie theater for 3 hours. It's just it takes a lot out of me now. I can't even sit in a car for that long. Hmm. Granted, if Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning was this long, it would have been a breeze to get through. But 2 hour, 2.5 hours to see Ailey not act, that was a problem for me. It's only making my top 10 because of Tom Cruise, but not my top three. I'll tell you that much. Marvel's might because it's the last blockbuster I care about this year in the theater. This British guy's barely in the movie, so he doesn't hurt the film. Now, in the Reckoning, there's a lot of them, and some of them don't need to be there. Same here because the production I think is now in good hands. It is in good hands because Todd Phillips is still directing it. Joaquin Phoenix is still there, and that's all I need. Because when you had Harley with Joker and Suicide Squad, that was more toxic for just existing because that Joker was not a good Joker. Leto's Joker was a joke, literally. He looked like a cholo. Kanan has another movie coming on Hulu. Yeah, but see, on streaming because that's all they can get. Wow, this guy's not screwing around, but he's barely in the movie. Like I said, he could have been in the movie more. Solomon Lane was more in Rogue Nation than this guy. And also fan service in a movie. Do it right or don't do it at all. Mario did that with all the Nintendo properties. They didn't have to throw Sega and Microsoft and Sony in there. Because again, it's Nintendo, not those others. Uncle Doubles, yeah. That's to that guy that's in the movie that plays the traitor, the guy with the glosses or whatever. He's the only Brit in the movie that doesn't need to be there. But again, it was the 2000s. They were starting to put Brits in everything back then. Starting, it wasn't until like we got to like the 2010s that they're like, oh yeah, now we have to put Brits in everything. Why? Even if it doesn't make any sense. Like, why was there a Brit in Jungle Cruise? That made no sense. or in Mission Impossible after the first four. Yeah, let's do this. Yes, it has to. Mm-hmm. And look, protesters. Yeah, I'm sick of those too. Jungle Cruise is no Jumanji. It's not. It's boring. They took a 10-minute ride at Disney and stretched it out to 2 hours and 10 minutes. BS, I say. That is not a movie that needed to be over 2 hours. Jumanji from 1995 was under 90 minutes. It was like 95 minutes. It's under 2 hours. Even the two sequels that came out, those are not 2 hours and 10 minutes. Zathura, that was under 2 hours. The Rundown, even the jungle, not the Jungle Book. What was the other one? Uh, the Journey 2. That was still way better than Jungle Cruise. And the CGI looked horrible. That CGI looked worse than the Flash. United Nations. This acting again, stellar. This is almost Oscar worthy compared to some of the acting I saw this year, where people can't even they can't even talk. They have to scream, and that's not. And I'm not talking about like screaming because they're scared. I'm saying like shouting at the top of their lungs. Yeah, that's not good for your blood pressure, right? That's why I don't do it in my podcast. I'm trying to keep my blood pressure low. Montrose is the mole. You heard that, folks. This film came out during the Bush administration, so that's kind of why movies like this didn't do as well as others. Crystal? I thought Vanessa Hudgens in Journey 2 and Karen had more to do. Yeah. And they're not Bintos with superpowers. They can get hurt. They can be in harm's way. When Caitlin screamed in Storm 12, she was a troubled girl. She has an excuse. Plus, she was very young at that time. That was 10 years ago. Caitlin was a teeny bopper. But the evolutionary screaming, half of his dialogue near the end, I'm like, will you please stop screaming? I'm not deaf. You don't have to go, there is no God. I'm going to take his place. I'm like, yeah, just suck it. You worthless Binto from Peacemaker. Thank God he's not going to be in the next Avengers movie, or I would pop, or the Marvels. That's why the Marvels, I'm like, I'm seeing it for Brie, Iman, and freaking Tiana. I'm not watching it for the British chick that's going to play the villain. I don't care. This is on record now, so when I complain about her, you know what to expect, guys. I got her toy in McDonald's and I threw it right in the garbage. I have 3 of the toys from the Marvels, and she's not one of them I want to keep. Not one. Gecko Chop, baby. Yeah. Right, John. Screaming your dialogue doesn't make it more acting better. No, it just gives me a headache. When they did it back in the day, overacting could be fun to watch. But these actors now that do it, these Brits that scream, it gives me a headache. It makes my testosterone levels just drop. Yeah, it does. Because I'm not feeling excitement. I'm just like, I'm just underwhelmed. I'm just bored of it. Yep, gotcha. You're dead. Plus, I'm one of the few people that does a commentary off on camera instead of off camera because I want people to see my face. She could do Marvel Adiza or make it work, whether makeup or real face. If you're gonna scream, make it funny or make it scared. Like if someone screams on a ride, I get that. But screaming your dialogue, you're doing the soliloquy. It's not working for me. If it's not Shakespeare, you don't need to overact. It takes me out of the film or show or cartoon. Because when Marlon Wayne screams, that's hilarious. I laugh my head off. But when it's like the evolutionary or well, Kang, he screamed only a little bit. Admit it, at least Jonathan Majors wasn't overacting in the beginning of that movie. He's just subtly talking like this. He's calm. He's not freaking Eddie Redmayne in Jupiter Ascending. That's too much. Where he's like whispering like this, and then he just screams out of nowhere. It's too much. That was so bad. Eddie Redmayne almost lost his Oscar because of that movie. A bad script. The Wachowskis don't know what good acting is anymore. An hour and 39 minutes. We're almost done, guys. I promise this movie's under 2 hours. I hope that after this mess, Majors can come back as Kang. Yeah, exactly. With the Avengers is going to get pushed another year, but it's fine. I'm still young. I can make it. I just want to see the Marvels, and I'll be fine with the rest of the year because the year's almost over anyway. Marvels is coming out in November. That's a month that's not too cold, not too hot, just right in the middle. It's like breezy, but it's bearable compared to the winter weather where it's like 20 degrees out and you have to wear masks and hats and scarves and all that and gloves. This is the final chase scene, an hour and 40 minutes in. Again, there's that awesome score. I got 33%, so got to charge this as soon as I'm done here. I'm almost done. I'll choose a shorter movie next week. Come on, Jack Bauer, or just shoot him. Shoot him. Shoot him, shoot him, shoot him. Come on. Yep, there it is. Hostage situation. Got him. You gotcha. You're done, Binto. You fail. Well, that was it. They got him. See, the villain easy to take down. Is the movie over? I think it is. No, there's one more scene. I want to see more of Catherine Newton. Yes, she's going to come back. They already secured her for Kang's Dynasty and Secret Wars. They're going to give her the red suit because the purple suit looks too much like Hawkeye, so they're going to probably change it. And Douglas is still a boss, man. He still owns every role that he does. Yeah. They gave him adult diapers. That's laughable. See, again, there's no love interest in the movie either. Yeah, she was a good addition, and she didn't have to be sexualized or underused like they do in other movies. She has a substantial role, so it's not a cameo. It's more like a supporting role. That's well done. Well, that was the movie The Sentinel from 2006. Be clear, the one with Michael Douglas. There's another movie called The Sentinel, The Last Sentinel with Katie Sackhoff. An hour and 44 minutes. See, still under 2 hours. That was The Sentinel, guys. There's no post-credit scene, so that was The Sentinel, and I'm glad I got to rewatch it again. It's been a while. Thanks for watching, guys. My next podcast won't be for a couple of days. I'm going to National Cinema Day in a couple of days. I can't wait for that. It's been a year since the last one, and tickets are $4. So if you near a movie theater, go that day. Support cinema that deserves it more than the what the freaking Hollywood system gives us every year. But anyway, that was a Sentinel. You can stream this on Max, so you don't have to pay much to see it. And it's a really enjoyable action thriller, very underrated. It deserves better than it got sometimes from the critics. Anyway, thanks for watching. Acknowledge me, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.